Hey, what's up guys? I'm Martin Arts here, and I'm going to be making you guys a tutorial on how to do some cool abstract object stuff in Cinema 4D. So this is an example of an abstract object that I made. It's kind of laggy because it's pretty complicated, so it will go a lot faster when it's actually rendered. But you kind of get the idea, lots of these shapes swirling around, some particles, some spheres, and then I'll show you the finished product. It's on my channel, but I'll just show you guys here anyway. So it looks like this. Yeah, it's blurry at the beginning because that's a depth of field effect. And yeah, I think it looks pretty cool, guys. So obviously, if I were to give you the exact steps to make it exactly like this, it would take a long time, and it's probably not even going to be similar to this, but because it's abstract, so it should be your own thing. So I'll just show you the steps to making your own thing, and it might not be as complicated as this, because this actually took me like 2 hours to make, but I'll try my best to give you guys a good solid tutorial. So open up Cinema 4D and do a File, New Project, and I think you're going to start with a sphere and a torus. So you can kind of play around with the settings for sphere. Give it, I guess, let's just do 80 segments or more or less. Just good amount of segments, so it looks good, but it might be a little bit longer render, but it doesn't really matter. And then, let's see, just play around with this. Just get something that looks maybe like this. I'm just playing around with it. Yeah, something like that. It doesn't really matter. And then you're going to click on this and shift and click on that, so they're both selected, and you're going to group the objects into a null object. So once you have that thing, you're going to click on the deformers button, which looks like this, and click bend, and you're going to drag this bend into the null object, and I think it's better to put them under the torus and the sphere like that, but I'm not sure if it really matters. And then you're also going to get a twist, and you're going to put that under the bend or in front of it, it doesn't matter. So first, click on that bend and go to mode and do unlimited. And this is where it's up to you how you make it. It really doesn't matter how you do this, but yeah, it just doesn't matter. So just do something like that. So you don't want to get it too twisted up, because it might do some weird stuff like that. That looks all fucked up. So I guess try just something like that. It's not too bent. And then you're going to add, I guess, one more bend to the null object. So, oops. Don't want to do that. You have to, like, drag it down. Fuck. I don't know what I'm doing. You have to... Here we go. So we got that other bend. And let's do mode unlimited again. And just play around with it. You can just get it to look like something that's cool. And looks kind of cool, I guess. A bend isn't really necessary, but if you just want to make it something more, then you might want another bend. So just play around with this a little bit more. So I guess you have something like that. It's not perfect, but it looks kind of interesting. So once you do that, you're going to get some more shapes. Like, let's see, I think what works best are, I guess, more toruses or cones or capsules. So just for variety, let's try a capsule and a cone. And then you can drag those onto the null object. And once you have that, and then you can just drag them out like that, pretty much. And let's make some more segments on the the capsule. You can just put it wherever you want, play around with the bend settings. This is where it's really up to you. So I can't really help you with, you just have to go with your gut on what you like. So this one, whoa. That looks pretty bad. Let me just, oh yeah, I think you need to do a lot more segments. And then it looks a bit better. So let's have something. Huh. It's not really looking too great, but let's get rid of the cone and let's stick with these three shapes. So pretty much what you're going to do, you're just going to keep making more of these shapes. Anywhere from like 3 to 6 would probably be good. And just playing around with the settings and the settings and the bend settings, making it look however you want it to look. So it's kind of out of place. It's not really connected with the rest of the shape. But I don't want to take too long. I don't want to make it perfect. I just want to give you guys the idea of what you're going to do. So once you have something like this, what I like to do is I like to drag it out. So you have another one of these, and rotate it around like that, and then drag this. What I'm doing is I'm doing click, control, drag, so that duplicates it. And if you don't really know what I mean, you can just copy and paste it. So you have that. You're gonna move it, just position it, and you can resize it and just use multiple like abstract objects to get something that looks cool. Let's just rotate that. Now we're getting something that looks kind of cool. And it's not perfect because you can have it wherever you want. I'm gonna start talking a bit faster because I'm worried that this isn't gonna go under the 15-minute limit. So let's make some settings for your object, because we're gonna be making an animation. But if you want to just make a single frame, then just do current frame. But I'm gonna do all frames, and then save it as a QuickTime movie if you want it to be an animation, or a JPEG if it's a single file image. Click here to save wherever you want to save it, but I'm not going to do that. Go to anti-alias, whatever, and then for this first box, click best, and just, I think, keep those settings. And I'm not really sure, I just watched this in another tutorial, and I think it helps, just makes something not get messed up with like geometry of the shapes or whatever. And I'm not going to get into how to do the depth of field that I had in the video I showed you, so don't click that one. And let's see, am I missing anything? No, that's pretty much it. You can add a global illumination or ambient occlusion if you want, but in my opinion, it makes it look a little bit better, but for the render time you have to sacrifice, it's not really worth it. So here you go, you have this cool abstract shape. What I also like to do is add some spheres to it and just put them randomly around. So, and don't have these spheres be applied by the bend, because these are just going to be those spheres you saw in my video that are just kind of floating around around the abstract shape. And you don't have to have spheres like that, but I think it's a cool effect. So, yeah, just position them wherever you want. This, again, this is like up to you. And let's do one more. Just get this in a good position. Get smaller. There we go. You got 3 spheres, and you can have more or less. And you have this kind of cool abstract object. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make some materials. This is also up to you, depending on how much experience you have with materials, but I'm just going to make some random materials. So we'll have a white, and then check off luminance and put that at around 60%, and reflection, regular reflection at about 20%. So that's your bright white material. We are going to do a black material, so color black, get rid of specular, check off reflection, and put the brightness at anywhere from 5 to 10%. And these are just my materials. You can make your own materials, but this is what I like to use with abstract objects. Red with luminance, color red, and maybe 40% brightness, and check off reflection and do a regular Fresnel reflection. And after that, I like to make 2 glowing colors. So color, choose a good glow color like green, and luminance, do the green color and make something that looks like that. And then reflection, check off Fresnel and keep that like that. And then you can control drag on the material, because we're going to be making a material that's exactly the same as that, except a different color. So do the color, I guess a bright yellow would look kind of cool, so bright yellow. And then for luminance, make it the same color, bright yellow. So now you have 5 simple materials, maybe not the best materials, but for the purpose of this video, they're pretty good. So just drag them on randomly in the shape, however you want them to be. This probably isn't the best way to do it, but I'm just dragging them on randomly. But I'll take more time if I was actually going to make something that I would... Whatever. So, let's see if we're missing anything. So, the main idea, you have some materials and you dragged it onto the abstract object. And let's render that out real quick. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. If you want it to look better, or I'm not sure if we'll make it look better, but you can add a global illumination and ambient occlusion, and I might have another tutorial on how to use those. But here we have the abstract object. I guess if we want to do a quick animation, because I'm running low on time, just what you're gonna do, you're just gonna keyframe the bends and the twists to change. So across this 90 frame animation, just pretty much all you're going to be changing about some of these bends is the strength and the angle, and hopefully you guys know what I mean. But what I mean is right here, go to your first frame at 0, control click in that little circle to make it red for strength and angle, and choose a random strength and angle that you like, and then go to the end of the animation and change the strength and angle, and click that control click on that yellow circle to make it full red. And then you can see if I drag through this, or if I play it, you can see those things swirl around because you're changing the settings of the bend. So you're just going to do that however you want to for all of the bends or some of them or whatever. And I'm not going to get into how to make the emitter I made, and I'm not going to get into how I made the object vibrate or kind of move around, because I'm kind of running low on time. And sorry about that, but you got the idea of how to use bends on some spheres, capsules, toruses, and spheres, hopefully, to make a cool abstract object. So thanks for watching, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe and check out more of our videos. Thank you.